It is 4 minutes past 12. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mara Mokonda, and it's time for our hit list. Sandra Zaca is living proof that we don't wear our emotional scars, but them not being visible doesn't mean that they don't run deep. A top 100 Mrs. South Africa 2021 semi-finalist, Sandra overcame childhood trauma that came from sexual, physical, and emotional abuse. She is here to share her story with us, a story of hope, a story of inspiration and transformation as well, because she is a transformational coach. Let's hear what she has to say. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here today.
It's a pleasure. There will be a slight delay, so I will give you some time to respond and etc. etc. So you arrived in South Africa after fleeing from civil war in the Democratic Republic of Congo back in '95 with your family. Tell us about your journey. I'm sure it was not an easy one.
No, it wasn't, but I was blessed enough to be with parents that were determined and resilient enough to not give up. The civil war started in the 90s in the Congo, and it was a choice between staying in the Congo and maybe dying or fleeing for your life, like we did for our lives, in order to start a new life somewhere else. And my parents did a good job. We ended up skipping a few borders and ended up in Malawi in the refugee camp for a little bit. However, my parents wanted to give us an education. So they decided it was time to do some more fleeing and more running. And we ended up in South Africa, in Durban in 1995.
Hmm. And all this entire journey was with your family as well as your siblings. How many siblings were you?
I have four siblings. I'm the oldest of five. I have one sister
Mhm.
and three brothers.
So seven members all walk together from the
Yes.
DRC right up until you reached South Africa. What were some of the challenges that you endured along the way?
Everything was a challenge. Everything. We didn't have any passport. There was no food. There was no water. We didn't speak English because, as you know, the DRC is a French speaking country. We didn't speak English. So, literally, we had to navigate. Everything was new. We had to learn everything. Most of the countries we went through were English speaking. So, English was a challenge. And obviously, when you're traveling as a refugee, you can't carry much. All your memories are left behind. We only carried what was important, like our papers, our birth certificates, our school reports, and our photos. I'm so grateful my parents took the photos because now I sort of have some sort of proof of my previous life. So that's really great. And just not having food. I was the oldest, so at the time I was about 15, and my youngest brother was 3. So you can imagine traveling with 5 children under the age of 15. That I can't even begin to imagine what my parents went through with 5 children. I've got 3 of my own now, and I cannot imagine fleeing South Africa to go to a country I know nothing about.
Hmm. And you spent 2 years at a refugee camp in Malawi. How was that time, spending time in a refugee camp, when you thought that things were okay for a bit, but they really wasn't. So, just take us through that a bit.
The refugee camp was very interesting. I mean, Malawi was a safe place for us. They put us in a refugee camp that was 20 or 25 kilometers outside of the capital city of Lilongwe, and we were living in tents. My family, because we were so big, we had 2 tents, one for the kids and one for the parents. Sometimes my mom would sleep with the girls and vice versa. We received food because we were such a big family. The UNHCR, which is a refugee branch of the UN, provided food for the entire camp. So every month we would receive 100 kgs of rice, beans, and peanuts, and sugar. And the rest we had to make do. So my mom started a garden in the back. She would sell those vegetables. or exchange them with the local people. Then we would get meat. We didn't drink milk for the 2 years that we were there, or eggs, because those were luxurious items. You just make do as long as you are safe. One of the main reasons why we left was the education. There were no schools for those 2 years that we were in the camp. I was not in school, and my siblings were not in school. So education was one of the main drivers of leaving the camp. As refugees, we're not really allowed to study or work much, so we just had to sit around in the camp and do much. So I'm so glad we left, because was a waste of time.
And despite everything that you've been through, you managed to turn your life around. And I'm sure people are wondering, but how did she do it? So tell us, how did you do it?
I'm a firm believer, and I do this a lot in my coaching business. I'm a firm believer that you cannot wait for life to happen to you. You have to grab every opportunity to make things happen. People will often say, I've got nothing. But for me, for example, I'll say, you have something. If you have a house and you have electricity, and you have an oven, you can bake bread and sell, because people are always willing to help. I teach people all the time, you can't wait for life to happen to you. Grab every opportunity, use whatever, knock on every door, do whatever it takes to be where you want to be. Have a vision for your life. And I think one of the things that my parents did for us was, when we were in the refugee camp, they had a postcard. We had a family friend that had arrived in Durban, and they'd sent us a postcard. In these days, people don't send postcards anymore. But anyway, that postcard was the first thing we saw when we woke up in the morning, and the last thing we saw when we went to bed. So we had a clear vision of where we were going. So have a vision. Don't let your current circumstance determine what your vision looks like, because no situation is permanent. Nothing is permanent. Anything could change by tomorrow. So I'm an optimist at heart, I suppose, and I take hold of every opportunity, and I teach that to people in my coaching business as well. What do you have in your hands, and use that.
And going back again to your time out of school, not knowing English, etc., you taught yourself English. How did you do it?
It was interesting. I really wanted it so badly. I wanted friends. I wanted to be able to have a conversation. So what I did, we arrived in South Africa in December 1995. In January 1996, I am placed in a school, all-girls school in Durban. And as you know, teenage girls are not the best people. That was hard. And I decided, well, nobody really wants to talk to me, so I might as well teach myself English. So I spent time at the library every single day, particularly I think it was the second break that was the longest. So I would sit there and I would take the little books that I'm currently reading to my kids now. So those are the books I started with, just reading and reading. So I could read English, I could write English before I could speak it better. And by the time I left school, I matriculated when I was 20 years old. So by the time I left school, I could speak English. So I was just that determined to do it.
Well, that determination shows in your life at the moment, and as you said within your advice, that no situation is permanent, and if you want something, you have to go out and get it. What does being, well, you are a semi-finalist of Mrs. South Africa.
Charity are the ideal means to avoid calamity and despair. The Al Imdad Foundation gives you the opportunity to sponsor a share in a borehole in South Africa for just 1,000 Rand and provide what the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, called the best form of charity. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails, milkshakes, and so much more. Corporate and events catering available. Visit our social media pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's, the Taste with Kick.
The two major dams for the Eastern Cape's biggest metro, Nelson Mandela Bay, are running dry with no major rain forecast. The city of Port Elizabeth is facing an unprecedented water crisis, home to an estimated 1.3 million people. The Al Fida Foundation needs your support to deliver water to impoverished areas. Support our water drive and help us raise monies for water delivery vehicles to ensure water distribution in areas of critical need. Donate your lilla to the Al Fida Foundation. Visit our website at www.alfida.co.za or contact us at 041 484 1288.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
From the townships of South Africa, the refugee camps in Syria, or orphanages in Yemen, the eyes of the needy speak volumes with just one glare. We know what it's like to be at ground zero, with food essentials, clothing and blankets, fresh water portal trucks, and even on-site navigators. We use every cent to better their tomorrow. Become part of our journey to bring relief to all. Go to www.ashrafulaid.org or call us on 011-809-8181. Ashraful Aid, under the auspices of Maulana Suhail Wadi.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media. It is 16 minutes past 12, and on today's hit list, I'm joined by Sandra Zaca, who is a transformational coach who managed to turn her life around. She's also a semi-finalist for the Mrs. South Africa pageant, and she's joining me to tell us more about her journey. If you have any questions for her, please leave them in the comment section below, or send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061-766-0355. Sandra, thank you for joining me and staying with me. I don't know what happened earlier, but things like that are about to happen. All right, now, before the break, we were talking about your Mrs. South Africa pageant and what it's like being a semi-finalist. So, well, what does that mean to you?
Well, as of Friday, I'm now a finalist because the top 25 were announced on Friday. So I'm very honored and privileged. It's been an amazing experience for me. You know, Mrs. South Africa is a platform that gives married women a chance to just explore and have fun. It's really an empowering platform for any woman. I would recommend any woman who is keen to have a bit of adventure and a bit of, if you've got grit and a sense of adventure, then that's the thing for you. For me personally, I entered it. My husband actually suggested it. He said, well, why don't you enter Mrs. South Africa? And I was like, I'm too old for that because I just turned 40. He's like, no, that's right. That's what Mrs. South Africa is made for old people like you, he joked. And I decided to enter and see what happened. And it's been exhilarating. I've learned so much about myself, and I've been surrounded by incredible women. This country is made of powerful, powerful women. And I've just loved every moment. It has increased my confidence, my ability to talk to more people, my business. It has helped me. We receive so much training that it has helped me even grow my business through this process, because I'm seeing more and more that really the sky is really the limit. So it's been incredible, and I've loved every moment.
Well, congratulations on
Thank
reaching
you.
the final stages. Now, you've started your company, Brave Spaces, as a transformational coach, and you want to help people transform the same way you transformed and changed and you were able to heal from your childhood trauma. So, first of all, how important is healing, especially healing from childhood traumas?
Gosh, that's a good question. Healing is so important. Miriam, I think, as you would know, like, you can only dish out what you have. You can't give people what you don't have. And if you have so much pain and trauma, often pain turns into anger, into addictions, into withdrawal symptoms. You try and numb yourself by doing all sorts of things. And I think healing is important because it helps you discover who you are. Because trauma, here's the thing, trauma has happened to you. You can't undo what happened to you. However, you can learn to manage what happened to you. The past doesn't need to control you. The pain doesn't need to control you. You can learn to manage the PSTD, and you don't have to use external things to numb your pain. You can learn. You have to be comfortable with the pain in order to heal. And I think that's what's so difficult with healing, because it requires you to sit with the pain, face it, and look at it, and gradually begin to work through it. And that's often very scary for a lot of people.
Hmm. Yeah, so scary to the point that people choose to probably just leave the pain or brush it under the carpet or something, or escape it
Yes.
instead of actually going through that. It's like we are
Yes.
afraid to go back to that time, so we don't want to experience what we once experienced. There have been many girls and young women who have been in your position and probably are still so even now. So,
Yes.
how can women and girls who are abused seek help?
There are many, well, you can seek help. I have a website if you would like to get in touch with me. If you would like for me to work, you go to www.sandrazaca.com. All my details are there. You can get in touch with me. And also, there are lots of organizations that are doing amazing work. And I know to speak up is always very difficult initially, but find one person. There's always one person that will believe your story, that one person that will give you the courage to speak up. And also, we have to realize that gender-based violence is not your fault. You did nothing wrong for that to happen to you. And I think society often makes the victim feel badly, as if you've done something wrong. And often we ask victims, what did you do? What did you wear? What did you eat? It has nothing to do with you. And I think we need to remember that gender-based violence is not a woman problem. It's a man problem. The
Mm-hmm.
men are causing the violence, not the women. So we need to remind the woman that it is not your fault. So seek help, because when you begin to seek help, you will find peace, because you deserve peace. And healing is never about anybody else. It's about you. For me, I decided I'm gonna be healed because I didn't want anybody walking away thinking that they've left a victim. I refuse to be anyone's victim. And I think every woman needs to know that you do not need to remain a victim. And I'm here to help in my coaching. This is what I do with women. We work through, we sit with the pain, we learn to go through it, we learn to let go of things, we embrace new things. But it's possible to find healing. It is absolutely possible.
Yes, definitely. And what about opportunities? How can young women create opportunities for themselves? Because, well, we're living in a time where opportunities are everywhere, and it's either you see them and you grab them, or it's either you just let them go past you and you miss an opportunity. How do we create opportunities for ourselves?
Perspective. I always say the lenses through you see your life is very important. Perspective is very important. Someone might see rotten potatoes. I may see potential vegetable garden. So, and I think that's part of the thing I do in my coaching as well. I teach you, it's about transforming your mind, If you have not been taught to see opportunities, you can't see them. And I teach young women that as well. What do you have? What do you have in a community? What is your passion? And I think for us, particularly for me, I used to be like that in my younger years. Like, I don't have a passion for that. But do you know that's a lie, because we always think that you have to be born with a passion for something. But here's the truth. Passion grows the more you do it. The more you become better at something, the more you become passionate about it. So start where you are. If someone is doing hair next to you, a hairstylist, learn how to do that. You never know where that might take you. You could be the next celebrity stylist. Maybe you start, you don't have the passion, but before you know it, you are the celebrity stylist. Cooking, if you see your mother cooking, learn how to cook. You know how to make a dress. Learn whatever is in front of you, raise your hand up and do it. My first job actually was I worked as a receptionist at a Caucasian hair salon. I knew nothing about hair, nothing, absolutely nothing. But I was given a job and I did it, and I did it very well. And that's the other thing. Wherever you are, do it well, because that will open the next door, and learn to leave well. Do it well so that if someone has another opportunity, say, hey, you should try this young girl. She is passionate, she is hardworking. You should give her a try. And that's how I grew up in my career. I started as a receptionist. By the time I was done, I was a project manager in a engineering firm, because I worked hard at what I did. I never allowed, just because I didn't have the passion for it, doesn't mean I shouldn't do it well. So wherever you are, do it well and do it with passion. And take whatever is in your hands.
Take it, grab those opportunities with both hands and run with it. Sandra, we are going to play a game. It's called Quick Fire, and all you have to do is answer these 5 questions as quickly as possible. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. If you were the president, who would be your deputy?
Oh, my husband.
All right. What would your top priority be as the president?
Education and gender-based violence.
If you could choose a superpower between reading minds, invisibility, and super strength, what would you choose?
Reading minds.
I wonder why. What is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote is, it always seems impossible until it is done.
And name 3 people or organizations that you think we should follow on social media.
Ooh, 3 people. I absolutely adore Amanda Dambuza, because I think she's incredible. Her story really inspires me. And I follow the UN refugee page, because I have a passion for refugees, and they do amazing things for refugee people. And the last one will be my page. Then you can learn you can follow me and follow my journey. And I've got lots to learn from people, and I've got lots to teach as well.
Awesome. Well, you answered all 5 questions, and that is better than some of our guests, but very good. And lastly, what's your message to the women and girls this Women's Month?
Nothing is impossible as women. We are capable of so much more. You just have to believe that there's something in you, that you are a gift. You are created for a purpose and on purpose. What is your purpose? And purpose does not find you by you just sitting down. You find purpose by trying new things. So go out there and try it, and shut the critics down and just try whatever. And in trying, you will stumble in your purpose. That's my message this month. Like, nothing is impossible.
All right, Sandra, thank you so much for your time. How can our viewers and listeners find you if anyone is interested in Brave Spaces?
So you can find me at www.sandrazaca.com. And also you can go to my Instagram page, Sandra B. Zaca. All my information are on there, and there's a link tree. So it's very easy to get hold of me there, both on my website and on my Instagram page.
All right. Thank you so much for your time once again. I wish you well in your future endeavors and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Bye bye. That was Sandra Zaca taking us through her life and the challenges that she faced and how she triumphed and overcame those. And she's now a transformational coach and a finalist of the Mrs. South Africa 2021 pageant. And you can find out more by going to her social media or just Googling www.sandrazaca.com. That's Sandra, ZACA.com. And, you know, her advice is when she said that you were created with a purpose and on purpose. It's like, wow, a wow moment over there. Take that and let it sink in. And when you get an opportunity, grab it with both hands and don't let it go. Sometimes we miss out on so many opportunities because we're focused on that one opportunity that we lost or we missed out on. But the opportunities are endless and they are always there. So find something that you like doing, find something that you're passionate about. So if you don't have anything that you're passionate about at the moment, start by doing something that you like doing. Even if it's just running, start by running. Even if it's baking or making chocolates, making sweets, start there. But start somewhere and start today. And instead of waiting for an opportunity, create it for yourself. It is 12